Attack the enemy! Victory is ours!
Hello everybody, welcome back. I promise the Japanese tank battles are not going to go forever. However, as I've mentioned, I know, several times lately, have been just trying to get that first good battle in the ST-A1, and it finally happened. Finally, I can breathe. So, a bit of an up tier here in at least 6.7 at minimum. Got a conquest battle, which normally doesn't go very well for the Axis, at least around 6.3, 6.7-ish. And I'm going to do what I can to get up to the point. We've got two RU-251s rolling on up ahead, which is good. Hopefully they can get up to the A point before the enemy does and start capping it, and I can roll in just behind them and give them a little bit of additional support and capture speed. This battle is from 14 September 2017, so the day after yesterday's Little Help from My Friends video. Was rolling solo again, didn't have any of my subscribers or anybody with me this time. And rolling up, trying to stay behind the pipes here, where there's normally going to be enemies coming up along that fence there off to the right. Straight up the middle of the screen there. And actually there wasn't anybody this time at first, which was strange. Now we've got both our 251s in the capture point, and we can see enemies being lit up and danger close on the other side of the factory. However, luckily they can't depress their guns at us, and sadly we can't depress their guns at them. Now a Carnarvon gets taken out right at the edge of the building, and I can see another enemy down farther getting marked. Besides at least one enemy inside the building right next to us that I'm trying to move in on, and then an IS-2 shows up. But luckily he fired, and I was able to get a good penetrating M82 nuke shell into him and take him out. Now there's at least two enemies still in the building here, and another enemy farther off to the right. It was quite a cacophony of battle here. And if I'd have just aimed just a little bit lower, I'd have surely killed that guy. I did get an assist on him just after I fired, so that was alright. I took a hit in the back there, couldn't exactly tell where I got shot from. Got lined up on the guy just inside the factory building here. Decided to chance whatever was shooting in the back and at least get a shot on this guy. I took out his driver and broke his track. My track's been broken, but it didn't thankfully kill me. And I guess this guy couldn't see me. Thankfully, whatever's shooting me in the back also couldn't do too much damage to me. And I was able to finish off the Centurion Mark III there inside the building. There's still at least one more enemy inside the building, a couple more enemies at the other end of the building, and just enemies everywhere here. This was quite a fight we were in. So you can see two more guys within the factory there, and somebody shooting in from behind us. We've got two friendlies inside the capture point, two enemies just on the other side of the wall from them. They all seem to be, well, at least our guys seem to be unaware, or at least they're aware that the enemy can't hurt them, and they're just ignoring them. I'm sure the enemy would very much like to toss a couple hand grenades out the side of the blown out factory. I'm trying to just cover these guys as much as I possibly can and keep marking the enemies as much as I can so that the guys over to our north can maybe shoot into the building and take a couple of them out. I mean, there's guys just getting killed left and right, both teams here. It's a heck of a fight going on. It's actually pretty fun. It's a little bit harrowing, but it was pretty fun. Now, I am particularly concerned about these guys here. So I'm trying to move in to where I can. I was hoping to get in position first before this M26. I couldn't get there. I was waiting for him to fire. He didn't seem to be aware of me. He gets a shot off. I'm driving forward to get a good shot at him. He gets annihilated almost immediately before I get to him. Which leaves one enemy inside the factory that I'm aware of, and he's backing up and turning his gun over towards the capture point. So I'm going to see if I can't roll in on him and catch him unawares. And I think I actually did that. Got him as well for my third kill of the battle. So 3 kills and an assist so far. I broke that magical 2-kill barrier that I could not seem to get past with my ST-A1 prior to this point. So I've got a Crusader Mark II SPAA up here that I just saw. I wasn't exactly sure where I saw him. I thought he might have been coming around to try and threaten the point. I was hoping he was going to drive through right there where I could shoot him through that pipe, because that would have been hilarious. And then a Crusader Mark I comes up. I think I said Crusader Mark I earlier. It was a Crusader Mark II. Anyway, that was a Crusader Mark I that I was able to kill for my 4th kill of the battle. And unfortunately, the Panther D that was with me got taken out by a FV-4202. I'm now surrounded on at least 3 sides by enemies. Plus I've got Crusader Mark II SPA right inside the point with me. And I'm all alone on the A point. So I'm thinking at a certain point here, my luck is going to run out sitting on top of the A point while I'm waiting for enemies to come from any one of the 100 different directions they can possibly come from right here where I am. And then I start taking shots in the back, and it turns out I couldn't see him exactly during the battle, but it was a ZIS-12 with APCR rounds, and he shot right through my turret, killed all the crew, and that was that. But 4 kills, an assist, and held almost 4.5 minutes on the solo capture point. That's pretty darn good for an ST-A1, so that was enough for me to finally call it a good battle. I did skip ahead here and cut out a completely ineffective airstrike with the Ki-61 ICO. So came back in my Ki-67 ICO rather. Then I came back in my Ki-61. I still just have the 100 kilo bombs for the Ki-67. I do have the torpedo now, but I haven't had any obviously haven't had any reason or occasion to use it yet. So I had dropped my 100 kilo bombs on a bunch of enemy tanks, didn't get any hits on anything, and ended up crashing into a tree trying to come into a low and strafe some SPAA, so wasn't even worth leaving in the battle. But my Ki-61's got a pair of 250 kilo bombs, which are pretty darn useful, and it's a pretty useful dogfighter too, actually. So Japan doesn't have a lot of cast, but this one's not too bad. Came in, marking up some enemies here on the moving in close to our spawn. Dropped some bombs in a pretty good spot, got a critical hit on him, didn't kill him, thought that was going to be a kill. It unfortunately was not. A P-47 has crashed out somewhere, I'm not exactly sure where he was, and I thought I saw an enemy plane here. It turns out it was the wreckage of the crashed P-47 flying through the sky. And as I roll around again to come back in and try to strafe and continue marking the enemies here so our guys aren't totally caught unawares. Really wish I still had my bombs for these guys here, because I probably could have gotten at least one of them, if not 2. And come in low, take some AAA counterfire, which didn't do any significant damage, thankfully. Rolled back around and got myself as low as possible to skim through these trees and buildings and stuff here to avoid his fire. A little terrain masking going on. And then pull up right into another P-47. I'm still not entirely sure what the lead angle is that I need for the Ki-61, because I only really fly it in tank battles. So I shot a bit early on the P-47. Was burning up the water in my engine, but decided, well, whatever. I'm going to chase this P-47 down before he can reload if he's got a cast loadout. I do not want him getting back to his airfield. So I'm going to chase him down. That was an Su-6 that just came by in front of me. And I'm pulling up into this P-47, and I'm able to just get him before I finally stall out. And I get up to like 48 or something, yeah, 47 miles an hour before I'm able to roll over. That's how slow I got. Put the nose down and get the speed built up as quickly as I possibly can, get some maneuverability. Also, I figured that SPA was still around and would be trying to catch me at the top of my stall here, but he had moved on somewhere and he actually wasn't around anymore. Picked up the Sukhoi 6, rolling away off target, and decided, alright, I'll take him out if my engine will hold on, and then I will run back for our airfield. Got back on him, held the point on him pretty good, took him out. And right as I'm rolling back to the airfield, a Yak 3P comes in and kills me in like 2 shots. But I got a pretty good critical damage with the bombs, and then 2 assists with the, or 2 air kills rather, with the Ki-61. So I thought that was an effective enough flyout. I wish I'd taken out that Centurion or whatever he was. At any rate, back in the M41, put artillery in the last known place I saw the enemy, and then realized that they're a lot farther forward. Was able to take out the spawn rape attempting Crusader AA Mark 1 though. And thankfully he had only taken out my driver. Now I switched over to my smoke shells, and I should have just been firing smoke shells right from the start here and just covering my own approach forward. Because I should have known better. If there was one here who's SPAA, there's going to be more of them. And sure enough, there's like 5 enemies right just outside our spawn here. And they start hitting me before I can even do anything. I couldn't even fire off a smoke round. So you can see at least 3 right here, and I think you can see 4 in a second. Plus a bomb coming in. I did get a kill, so Not the best battle I've ever had in the M41, but I at least took somebody out before I got totally overwhelmed. And then it was time to come back in the NATO. So you can see where the enemies are on the minimap. They're all over the place. I got an assist on that, on something. Probably the 4202, I would assume, is the guy that I bombed. Just as another Crusader A Mark 1 comes around, I get a shot that should have been in his crew compartment, but it wasn't. And he's able to burn my NATO down because the shot went into his engine instead of his crew compartment. I really don't like the APHE on the NATO. I was debating the M41 or come back in the KI-61. I decided I'll come back in the Soki because I don't want to burn up my spare M41 in case I need it in a real battle someday where we have a chance of winning. So, without moving to keep my spawn protection on, because screw these guys, I turned around and lit up that Crusader, and then conveniently an M36 comes around the corner. You can kill an M36 with the Soki's armor-piercing rounds. I was hoping to put artillery on him because I'd killed his driver, but it was not to be. I couldn't get artillery that close to our own spawn. I could finish him off with my Soki, though, right as we ended the battle. And unfortunately, although we didn't win this one, it was still a pretty good battle for me overall, individually. Sadly, we couldn't pull it off, but not too bad for the ST-A1, and actually not even that bad overall. 73,500 lions isn't too terrible. So 2 air kills, 6 tank kills for a total of 8, 4 kill assists, and couldn't quite get a capture. Did die 5 times, but that's what happens when you're fighting. I mean, I had a almost 4,200 score, so that's not too bad. Quite a lot of awards, quite a lot of silver lions, quite a lot of kill feed, both good and bad. And that'll do it. Finally got that first good battle out of the way for the ST-A1. All that pressure is gone now. So, continue grinding. I'm getting pretty close to the Type 60 self-propelled recoilless rifle. Hope to bring you guys the first 10 for that soon, and we'll see you next time.